Good morning, welcome to the stream. Let's actually start by putting on some music in the background. There we go. Today we're gonna continue work on Doom 2 Annie. The most difficult part of episode 2 is completed, and that is actually making a new end level boss, which is Annie, a different form. And the only thing that remains now is putting in some monsters and other items in the third map of episode 2, and then going back to the hub area and tie it all together. So it's not too much work. And then we're ready for a release of episode 2, finally. It's been quite a journey, learned quite a lot during this development cycle, and this is all, all that experience is going to carry over to episode 3. But that's still a little bit off, so we're going to focus on actually releasing this and finishing up this map. So geometry wise, I think let's jump in. I think we just need to do maybe like a little bit of detail here and there to fill in these large areas. It's not easy finding, like, besides crates, obviously, finding a good stuff. Like, I don't have any models included in this project. Probably gonna do that for Annie 2, for the sequel. I'm gonna work with 3D models as well, especially, like, those models are great for fillers, like pipes, just stuff lying on the ground, like debris, whatever. It's gonna really fill in those empty spaces. I think 3D models, because there is like a collision issues. It's not perfect in Doom Builder, so we're gonna have to be careful. But the thing is, like, if I want to actually to add like pipes here or cables or whatever, like cables, you can actually just make sure it doesn't clip, so it's not an issue. With larger pipes, you can always put them under a grid, under the floor, that really helps with detail, and it's not touchable, so the player can't reach the pipes if they're if they're under a grid. So that would eliminate the clipping problems, or the collision problems, so to speak. But that's something for the sequel. Let's not focus on this the first game here. I did some small things like here, which is all sector based, obviously, but I think it's fine. You don't need to fill every inch of the map with because there has to be some room for maneuvers, combat maneuvers as well. So we'll see. I think this is, when it comes to detail, this is good enough. So yeah, that is, as far as the scripting goes, we were doing, I think, monster and item placement. I think we gotten to this point right here, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. We can always add a little bit of there was a time where I was really careful when it came to ammo placement. Like, I kind of wanted that perfect balance, like just enough to get you through. But nowadays I think, it might be better to have a little more ammo available than not enough. because, you know, it's not very fun when you have to use your fist to kill all the enemies constantly. So I just decided to go with some extra ammo. Oh, that's actually good. Yep. Now I have no idea what happens here. Why this suddenly changes. It sometimes happens for some reason, I have no idea why. So we have to... It would be good to do like a full level checkup, make sure all the textures are aligned properly. But that's during the actual testing phase, we're not there yet. What I do want is... It's always a fun part, is actually barrels. Barrels, I think they're here. No? Decoration, obstacles. Barrels. Lots of explosive barrels. I like that. A little further apart, like that. You can just lure the enemies in, like this will create a nice explosion pushing this barrel forward. And you can actually eliminate these enemies real quickly. I think it's very satisfying. Ambush. No, they don't have ambush flag? Oh. Very strange. No, can they actually see you? I don't think so, so that's good. You could just lure them in if you so desire. Let's see. Armor. Okay, actually, can we fit them nicely together? Yeah, there is. Maybe not enough room. Put these here. There we go. Yeah, that's good enough. Okay. Maybe like a health pack right here in the corner, like a small one. Like I usually... There's no need to ambush the player for that. It's kind of weird that it carries these flags over, even if you place new items. Okay. We can switch off the friendly here. This was... Okay. Now we're gonna place, and I know I have to be very careful when it comes to the pain elementals. Because they can really spam these lost souls. But you know, this area it's definitely large enough. So that's no real issue. What I still do not have is actually monsters spawning in. But like I use it in the previous level, so it doesn't have to always be there. It's kind of nice as a surprise. Maybe here, if you press the switch, I can spawn in some monsters, like to fill up these, like behind you, there's enough room here. Like maybe there, some of the platform like demons. Yeah, we got some space here. And you know what was always fun is actually, especially if you can reach these areas, just play some monsters up here as well. Like a shin gunner, very dangerous, but you have some cover. Just a little bit though, and you can still move around somewhat. So we're gonna use a couple of flying monsters here, like a few Kako demons. Kako demon, there we go. Maybe 3. Ambush, okay. Put them on different heights. And what I'm gonna do here, and this actually is perfect, we're gonna place 2 Arachnotrons. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of spamming. This one is pretty dangerous. And then we got a couple of low tier enemies. Well, let's say mostly humans, sergeants and imps. They can still pose a threat. Imps. Put them on the boxes here, because why the hell not? On the steps. Let's see, yeah. And of course, we're gonna add a few barrels on the steps here. Like to create this nice chain reaction. I think it's always, like I said, you know, it's very satisfying to actually blow them up. you can decide what you do with it. Now the thing is, you have to be careful. If you maneuver behind these barrels and you want to lure those guys in, the chain gunner will likely set off a chain reaction. Maybe, I don't know, maybe add like a little more cover here. Let's see what type we have. Really like the barrel, the crate design from the Quake 2 pack. Really cool. And we're gonna add a small 32 by 32 just to make the jump a little easier. We're gonna make it a little more tall. I think, as is always, or oh wait, I need this one. Alright, there we go. And then adjust the texture. Just to have a little more cover here. And I think, you know, it's a little compressed, but I think that's quite alright. What we can do here is, of course, add a little bit of ammo. Maybe a vest on the bridge, like armor. Power-ups. No, health and armor. Or a weapon. By this point, can we actually put the plasma rifle? Plasma gun. No. That's also actually, if you want to if you want to have an easy way to determine the center of a sector, just give it a tag and it will show up exactly here in the center. So you can just base your item placement on that if you want. Bounding box, I think that is correct. And then we're gonna add a hold on, let me actually just copy those so we have the correct alignment. Or this correct C height, which you can see, so we just have to change that to ammunition, cell charge. I won't give them too much yet. Only thing I wonder, well, we do have a rocket launcher. We get it in the very beginning, actually. That is right there. So I think it's about time. Super shotgun is right here as well. Well, you get chain guns and shotguns. PFG is already in the level, so I think we have all weapons accounted for. Maybe not the chainsaw. Maybe not that one. Oh, wait a minute. What do we have here? Oh, we already have. Okay. That's already a plasma rifle. Might. What we're gonna do here? Well, actually, this is the first time you get it. Might have to reconsider. Maybe replace this with the green armor. Like that. And we can actually, you know, maybe put a plasma rifle here as a secret. So you can get a little early. Get a little earlier for those who kind of want to pursue the secret. Weapons, plasma rifle, plasma gun. Yeah. And the blue armor secret. Well, we'll see. I don't think we have any blue armor secret here. We can ramp up a little bit of armor right here. So you can get plenty of armor by these. I think really these armor bonuses and health bonuses, you could easily say, you know, we leave them out and replace them with just the green armor and stim packs, because you have to find 10 of these to just replace one stim pack. But I think this is fun. I think it's fun collecting them, and it kind of, you know, kind of stimulates the player to explore a little bit more and to kind of venture in all the hallways. And if you want, I'm gonna place plenty of them. If you want, you can just replenish your armor just by gathering these, and they fill up the level as well. Empty spaces. Excuse me. So that's pretty cool. So we're gonna place them here, and what I'm gonna do is actually align the grid, because that makes things a little easier. Power ups, health and armor, armor bonus. There is a way, I think, you can align the item placement as well, I think. But I like thing placement. Something like that. And we're gonna place some decoration here. The player. And what I usually do is have these like couple of think this is kind of fun. Like, you know, there's some combat that took place here. We're gonna... There's a little more decoration. That imp, that demon. I think we can actually use Revenant. Maybe Hell Knight here. Human. Imp. Like not too much. Machine gunner. And I think that's good enough for now. Things will be spawning in. So I think that is basically... Ah, wait. I think what is fun, what is going to be fun here, especially in these parts. Let's actually have a nice surprise. Let's see. Any monsters? Oh, I forgot about these. These are fun. Doesn't always have to be. Doesn't always have to be a secret. We're gonna put a demon here. So if you drop, you immediately know what is up. And I think just Hell Knight. It's gonna be a close quarter battle here. Maybe if you land weapons, super shotgun. And I think this is a good place for a med kit. Well, this is all in the untested phase. So we're probably gonna need to do quite some testing. I think, yeah, over here as well. Again, lots of hit scanners here. I always tend to forget that I have rocket zombies as well in this pack. Sergeant, really. Like one Machine Gunner maybe, but I kind of want them centered. So we're just gonna place these like that. And maybe like a, let's see, what we can do here. Maybe a couple of demons. I don't use stealth monsters actually. I kind of want to remain close to the original game. Place them a little further back. There we go. And what is always nice is to have just a sneaky little bastard here. Here we go. So we got a nice ammo pack here. We can actually be a little bit generous. Ammunition. Box of ammo. Box of shells. Rockets. Yeah. There we go. I think that's plenty. A little bit of decoration here. Let's see, monsters. So we can actually hang some things from the ceiling. Annie Gore, hang Marine. And what we want here is actually, I kind of like this Marine helmet chips, and then we can actually use one of the normal decorations, and that is guts removed. Like this. Guts removed, and then it makes sense, like it lost his helmet. See, like that. That's pretty cool. And then just like a pool of blood or something. Couple blood splatters like that. Doesn't really show too much, I think. But we'll see. What we can do here, and this is fun, I do have some nice decoration for this. It's gonna be any core. We got radioactive corpses. That is pretty cool. Now, what makes this fun? We got like any monsters? No. Large glowing mushroom. And we're gonna place monsters. We got a sentient. Sentient glowing mushroom. So you have to be careful. Let me show you real quick because it's fun. I really think they fit well. And they're kind of randomized just a bit, but this one doesn't seem to work. I think sentient random. No idea actually. I should look at the script. No. That's weird. Oh wait, why is this set to dormant? That's weird. What did I place in dormant state? Did I place anything in dormant state here? I think this is... Oh, they're all dormant. That's weird. Never selected that, as far as I remember. None of this actually should be in dormant state. Very strange. Okay, that's why it didn't work. Random. Okay, let's see. Now it should work. If you come too close. There we go. You have to be careful. Okay, so these provide good cover, and it is. Yeah, this gives you a lot of trouble. Okay, the blood splatters show up at least. That's good. Okay. Can we actually have some fun on this conveyor belt? Lure some monsters in. So you can have maybe, like, if the monsters move, you have a nice fight on the conveyor belt here. imp. Oh. Okay, I think that's good enough. And that is it for this section. Maybe oh, I think we're good. Maybe place some armor bonuses here. Like that. Okay. Actually add some more. Now it's not a big deal if the ambush is still on, because it doesn't. I don't think in this case it means anything. But you know, if I notice, I might as well switch it off. There we go. Okay. We can actually add a health bonus here. And then shotgun shells. There we go. Okay. And oh, wait a minute. This is actually a nice place to actually put in the blue armor, because this is a secret. Well, if you reach this, think you've earned it. And I feel maybe I should sneak in a few, like what is this actually? Well, I feel like this should be like, okay, let's use a map spot here. GZdoom map spot. We're gonna spawn in, like, let's split this up for a moment. Oh, wait a minute, can we? Yeah, I think we can. Actor. Actor enters sector. And then we're gonna use like a, this is a nice trap. We're gonna spawn a, like a spider here that kind of falls from, like kind of really, like, you know, it's a jump scare. Spawn in the monster, like it falls here. Maybe not too high. Spawn here. You don't really see it anyway. That. And then it drops as soon as you enter this sector. Maybe you can move this up a little bit. Like this. As soon as you enter here, this one drops. So let's see, thing ID. Ooh. That is something. Secret. Oh, I think we can actually go on from here for the spawning script. Let's say, let's reserve this section here for monster spawns. Spawn, right. Invent. Thing spawn. However, no fog. Thing ID, let's use 455. Type. I think this is correct. Not really sure, let's see. Hey Ripper. What is up? Welcome. I think that's correct. Four, 5, 5. Okay, I hope so at least. I lost track of the thing IDs here. So I'm just gonna go starting from 400. New thing ID is not really the angle. What is the angle? We use a byte angle. Well, we'll see. We need to test it anyway. So, oh, from Russia. Wow. Okay. How is the internet connection? Is it because, you know, it's pretty far off. Oh, that's okay, no problem. Because I'm streaming from Belgium, so it's kind of like quite a distance. So I'm not really sure if the internet connection is, like the stream connection is all that great. And that should be it, basically. It's actually fairly simple. So let's see if this actually works. No. Ah, wait, of course, doesn't work. Of course not. I forgot about this one. It needs to execute the script, of course. That should do it. Okay. No, still not. Okay. That is kind of weird. It should work. I don't know. 455. Let's take a look at the script again. Ah, for VPN. Okay. Okay, then, yeah. Should it be a problem, I think? Spawn 04. That's weird. Okay, hold on. I have to check one of the earlier maps where I used it actually. Let's take a look at the script. Thankfully, I named them. Spider impact spawn spot. Oh. Oh, okay. It's different. Spawn spot. Okay. That's weird. Things spawn, that's weird. What is the difference between things spawn then? That's weird. Should be the same, I think. I'm gonna have to read the description. Let's see. This should be being spawned have a spawn ID. Aha, okay, I understand. Spawn spot. It requires a number, and here I can use there we go. That's basically, that's all that's required. The rest is optional. That like the different to this, I can define like the actual monster name here, while in the other one I had to define a number. Oh. Okay, it spawns 2. Ah, I know why. Because it should activate once only. God, it even got me scared because I didn't expect it. So it definitely works. You come in here. I kind of wanted to... maybe do it a little sooner. Because otherwise it just lands on top of the player. It still does if you run, because it happens so, like, you run so fast. But okay, I can live with that. Can move it up a notch, even more. Oh, it's still yeah, you move so fast. I can always AD script execute. I'm just gonna use this one. No repeatable action when player walks over. And then just remove this one. Maybe this works a little better. Maybe. No. Basically the same, but okay, let's yeah. Let's just keep this. Okay, so that is one jump scare completed. And then probably oh. Okay, let's keep it like this. And that is, I think that's it for this section. So I would suggest taking it for a test, starting from pistol. Oh, there we go. Bug discovered. Okay. I have to try to remember that. Probably best to write it down. There we go. It's gone. See that as a nice trap here. My health is down to 22, that's not too great. You slowly take damage. Okay. Have to be very careful with this trap. Got an armor here. We're off to a good start. I have to be careful for the ooze. Oh shit. Okay, let's make use of some infighting here. I'm probably... Let's see. Let's save. Episode 2 test. There we go. Because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna die. I forgot you could actually add a backpack as a secret as well. There he is. I have to be careful of the cyber demon. You can kill it if you wish. And this is actually one of my favorite parts right here. Spawns a key. The volcano gets activated, that's pretty cool. Ooh, that was a close one. Okay, so now we got the key. We can move upwards. So far so good. Feel like the monster balance is on point. As you can see, I know this map, I made it, but I'm still suffering if you look at my health and armor. So that's good. I don't know why this blood splatter was here. That is kind of weird. Why is this here? Ah, wait, it carried over, I think, from... Yeah. That's okay. Because I think... I do think I killed some monsters. Damn it, what a waste of ammo. I did kill some monsters in the beginning, and they just kind of teleported along with the pipe, I think. The pipe elevator. I think this could benefit from a Revenant here as well. Oh shit. Where did you come from? Okay. Ah, I see. Okay, that's quite alright. Probably should use sound barrier here. Do they have full sight? No. Stop the machines. There we go. We could add... Oh, the plasma zombie. See, this is what I mean. You could actually lure them. Boom. Stop this machine. There we go. I feel this map could use you can see that is your first priority. You don't need a lot of monsters here to make things complicated. There we go. Oh shit. Okay, so let's go back first. I think we could switch out a few monsters for plasma zombie. Let's see, let's use this one actually. Or maybe I'll add another one in. Plasma zombie, it's a different category. User defined. Yeah, they have to be like, I probably need to rearrange them a little bit. And then there's some strange reason why these guys wouldn't come down the stairs. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna swap out one of those, put them here, or maybe put them there. Ambush players. Maybe these ones as well. Sergeant. Let's put a revenant on top of this crate. Although, let's switch him out for a rocket zombie. That is dangerous. Very. Okay, that's all good. Ambush. Yeah. Ambush. They can easily wait here, it's no problem. Because I don't want to, like, if you don't do that, you kind of create these, like the monsters can hear you, you have to use a lot of sound barriers. And the thing is, like, the monsters can hear you and they kind of start swarming towards one place, and I feel like that's bad for gameplay. Then you got a lot of empty rooms where normally, under normal circumstances, monsters should be. Or at least that's how I place them. And the player has a lot, like, then you create like these very tightly controlled or tightly filled rooms with monsters who kind of herd you and start swarming towards you. And then you got empty rooms, you know, where the monsters were supposed to be. So that's why I use ambush quite a lot. I feel like it really helps. You can use sound barriers as well, but I feel like they're good for other purposes, not specifically in this case. Now let's fix the fences. There you go. Just impassable. That's good enough. Probably block projectiles as well. Block everything. No. Let's use block projectiles. Could still go with hit scans if you so desire. Yeah. And here we're gonna place a backpack. Munition. Backpack. Okay. You can, like, I do want the player to have these items. I just feel like, you know, you could, there's a good way to actually give them like early access. If you know, for the reward of exploration. And, you know, like the BFG, okay, that's gonna remain a secret. Just a one-time secret. If you fail to miss it and you travel to the next section, which is this one, it's lost. But, you know, in the end I can still put it up there. But you can only then make use of it. Let's see, so can we add another backpack? We add one as a secret, so I kind of want to add one. Because if you were close, we're probably going to be in this section here. Because I don't want to, like, you know, hold everything back until the very end. I'm going to take a small break. Be back in a few minutes. All right. Let's see. No idea what this is. Okay. Let's see. Now I think this is completed. Let's actually, I want to dive into before we start adding items in the last section of the map. I kind of wanted to take a look at the steps, the footstep sounds mechanic, because I feel like it could use some improvement, and I kind of want to take a look at the Z script. Now I'm delving into the dark world of Z script here again. I kind of need to change, like I kind of want to, because the footstep sounds are actually pretty much tied to the animation. Not directly, it's done through like a speed value, I think. And what I want is, this is actually, because the player, if you have ever played Doom multiplayer, and you could watch, or like in the level where there are mirrors, if you look at the player animation, it's actually super fast. The movement, like the movement of the legs is super fast. And this script based, kind of like calculated the sound based on that animation. However, I feel like it's not really realistic. So I want to cut it in half. Like if it takes like maybe like half a second to play a footstep sound, I kind of wanted to put in 1 second. It's more realistic. So, but I have to see if I can change it. So I have to look. Where the timer is defined. Double speed. Now what I can do, because there's actually a better script in a different project. That is HPAC. Clear. See if it's defined here. Footsteps, here we go. Oh, I can't really make up anything of this. Max speed. Double speed. We'll take double speed. So what if I remove this? Because this... This is seems like a function. Not really sure though. Let's use no monsters. Let's see if I remove unknown identifier speed. Okay. 65. So there is something else. Speed. Doubles. Max speed. What if I change the max speed? Eight. No, see, that's what I mean. You can hear it. I can actually see if I can find a way to solve this. Uh-huh. Clamp max speed. So I think I need to be somewhere over here. Having it have, okay, so what I'm gonna do, seven point zero. Okay, so we need to change this to 14. If that's correct, at least. Well, that does change. I kind of wanted to be a little more. It doesn't have to correspond to the animation. 10 ticks. Yeah, I feel this is good. So we're gonna save this. There we go, finished. That was actually pretty fast. Faster than I expected. Which is good. Okay, so what we need to do still is define the materials. because different materials have to create different footstep sounds. I was actually doing that. I did some for the flesh, but you know, that's something we can worry about later. Let's focus on actually making this map fully playable from start to finish. What we actually are missing. Put it like that. And then we can actually spawn in some monsters here. If you get the invisibility. There we go. There we go. Let's see. Okay, so that's good. We're gonna spawn in some monsters here. And this is actually the final part. Well, we got this one. This is the arena. That is actually the final part of this map. So we're getting pretty close. Should probably do a small overhaul of a few monsters in the first map of this episode. Maybe. Let's see. And of course, I have to find some room to actually integrate the brand new soundtrack as well. So we're gonna, I guess it's time to start with this. That's good. Now we have to put in a few fail safes. To make sure that the player doesn't rocket jump. Can we actually? Let's see if we can. I think we can. Yeah, easily. So if you have a rocket launcher, although just a second, if yeah, you can actually do it really easy because you have a rocket launcher by then. So that's not good. So basically what I want would be to disable rocket jumping entirely. However, that would require some additional scripting. I can choose either we do it through scripting and disable it, or I need to put failsafes into every level to make sure you don't really kind of break the level and skip ahead. Because this, like, to get the blue key here, this requires like a lot of tasks you have to go through first. And if you actually, this is the start, so you can go here, follow this line, and you can actually reach this rocket jump, and you have the blue key, and you can make your way to the exit, skipping a huge, like I think, maybe, well, good 60 or 70% of the level, or like of this section of the level at least. So that's not really what we want. So I have to think about, you know, either disable rocket launching, rocket jumping, or putting in fail safes. But there's a lot, you know, like you have to do some changes in the levels. Take the rocket jumping into account constantly, which is, you know, it's easy to miss something and break the level. And that would require intense testing, but you know, nowadays it's not like, you know, people don't really, if you put out like a beta version, they kind of maybe point out the obvious bugs, like a texture missing or monsters getting stuck or something. But like to extensively test this, and I mean actually test it, I don't know. And usually don't get that like if I get feedback, it's not really about that. I would require some, you know, dedicated testers to find exploits, stuff like that. I can always ask in my Discord server. People are probably willing to do that, but it's pretty intensive. Rocket. Let's put rockets here. Always with the ambush. That's how easy you can get it. Something messed up, apparently. Oh god, what is... oh god. Okay, never mind. Here we go. Let's probably just put him here. Actually, an excellent spot for some goodies. Shells. Yep. There we go. And we can actually health bonuses on each of the steps. So you can actually grab them early. So you have something to do when running up the steps. And then we're gonna use lots of armor bonuses here. Maybe not. We can actually place them here. Armor bonus, one in the corner, like that. Yeah. So let's put in another sign of combat. Oops, one decoration. There we go. And I think this is actually a nice place for Baron of Hell. Let's see, this is probably the first place you enter. There we go. And we can put some monsters in the background here. Keko Demon. I think this area could benefit from a few hazard suits here and there. Power-ups, radiation suits. Put one up here as well. Maybe one at the bottom here. Then we can add some goodies, which are exclusive. So yeah, you got plenty of options. Here, nice small, actually like not a real secret, but because it's obvious, you can go there. The game could definitely, like this one, could benefit from a few rat suits, absolutely. It's up to you if you want to take them or not. Use them sparingly, wisely. Maybe one here in the middle. There we go. I think that's enough rat suits. Should get you through. I mean, it's not like it's even mandatory. Maybe one here so you can actually just do a little bit of exploration. Like maybe here in the corner. Okay, I can actually hold on. red suit, and then we can actually radioactive corpse. There we go. This is always a nice place for some mushrooms. Any monsters? Sentient? No. Glowing mushroom, big. And then small. They're kind of randomized. Really like those. Oh, I see. There is something wrong here. It's easily fixed. Okay. No. Like there's a lot of green slime, so the mushrooms are actually perfect. Can add lots of explosive barrels. Let's change this into a specter. Ambush players. Okay. Kind of miss that. I kind of like that fuzzy specter style. In the original Doom games, they kind of made it just see-through or a little more just transparent. In GZdoom, I'm not really sure if there's an option to switch. Might have to take a look. You can actually, I think you can force it through scripting. Display options. No, I probably will leave. We'll leave that to the player. Not really sure. Hey Festus, what is up buddy? Good day, welcome. You missed some interesting Z scripting. The other, like the previous stream, I actually created my own custom monster. That is the Annie for the second episode here. Let me show you real quick. Oh wait, I have no monsters on. So that is pretty interesting because let's see. Just a second. We have to do it like this. Yeah, there we go. So basically, man, okay. There she is. So what I did was actually just a second. Jesus Christ. No, it's yeah, it's actually C script. Is that just C? I think it's C, not ACS. No. I'll show you. Like, let's. I'm gonna start just show you like so you know the behavior. So she spawns like if she's in a pain state, you get a random chance of doing either the jump or the teleport with a BFG shot. And you actually, like, I have God mode now, but you can take damage from the earthquake, the radius. So this is actually... It's a formidable enemy. I put it against the regular Spider Massive Man and she, well, it was over in a few seconds. The fight was over, especially because of, you know, the BFG shots. So I really like this. It took some like, and the funny part is like the spawning. It's, you don't need any other objects. It just calculates like if there's enough space, and then it just places the spider in one of the random positions. It kind of creates a beacon each time it enters pain state. So it's pretty. I think we spent about 2 hours, and I took that script. Actually, I took inspiration for that, the teleporting from a different monster, which already uses that same technique. So that was basically almost copy pasting. I had to change, of course, a few things to make it fit for the Spider Mastermind. But the jumping and the earthquake, that thing was conjured that out myself with the help of BDC and Morlin app. So that was pretty cool. Let me see. Put up the script here. So this is basically, this is all standard. And then I actually never did that. I define the states here separately. So this is the jump part. So it gets checked. And the funny part is I just asked Grok, X's AI, to kind of make the script, and it was almost, it only required just a very few adjustments. There were a few mistakes, but thanks to BDC and Morlin app, I actually managed to fine tune it and make it actually work. So this is basically the script, which made it work. And then we have the teleport here. This is pretty clever script. And then here, this is one I made myself as well, the pain choice. So if the Annie is in a pain state, you either go to teleportation or jump. And the quake. So I kind of like learned it in a very short time. Oh, you can't see. Okay. Well, it doesn't really matter too much, but you know, it works, and that's the most important thing. Yeah, I can always share the code through Discord if you're interested, at least. But it's fun, yeah. I kind of wanted to keep like the Annie, like I want to keep the functions of the original Spider Mastermind, you know, just with the chain gun. I kind of want to now do it alone. Yeah. Well, basically, I had like I think maybe most of it, but C script is like totally new for me. I never used it. I don't think I ever used C, for that matter. So it was, but it was fun. I had fun designing it. So I'm definitely gonna like. What I wanted to do as well is create this like spinning animation. You can actually easily do it just by scripting. You don't need to, you know, do any sprite work. Just make her spin at her position, like 360, like a few times, and then randomly throw out projectiles like plasma balls or something. So you kind of create this like bullet hell. Like that's an interesting attack, but it's probably maybe gonna save it for episode 3, because I kind of want to like have each encounter with Annie feel fresh, different, because she can always, you know, she kind of changes abilities during each episode. But I thought it was important to because initially I wanted to have a different version of like a sprite variation of Annie, like making her float, like cutting off her legs and making her float. There is actually in the repository where the lower part of the legs are replaced with thrusters. So you have like basically like a flying spider mastermind. Initially I wanted to do that, but then I thought, you know, maybe that's something for a sequel or something. I don't know. Kind of wanted to keep like the base of the Spider Mastermind the same, and just play with new abilities. There are a few options, you know. Actually, there's plenty of options to make it interesting. You could like stealth, like the jumping. You could basically, yeah, absolutely. What I was actually thinking, like in the first episode, she's gonna walk on the ceiling, but I have to redesign that arena because there was an exploit where you could walk underneath her and she wouldn't be able to harm you. So I'm probably going to redesign that entire map, that entire section of that level, to make sure that, you know, she is like in a center section of the map and you can't really reach her or go underneath her. So you have to fight her from a distance. And what I was thinking for the third episode, and you can actually do that if you want, but it's going to require a little bit of scripting to make her change states, like hanging upside down, and then she teleports away, and then she is walking like on the floor level. Because like the initial Annie design, I actually flipped all the sprites manually. But apparently there's like in Z-Script you can actually just flip Y. It's and X for that matter, but that's not really important. But you can flip the sprite on the Y-axis just by a simple command, flip Y, that's it. That's pretty cool. And I tested it, it works. The only thing I probably need to do is, because like I need to change the attributes, like no gravity, hang from ceiling. But I also need to spawn her at like the correct Z location. So the walking on ceilings is gonna take like, you know, it's gonna progress. Like in the first episode, she only walks on the ceiling. Then in this one, she walks on the ground, but has special abilities, a few more. And then in the third one, I'm gonna have her switch between ceiling and floor. So it's gonna be very interesting. It's gonna be a nice fight, like to kind of give her like full power in the last episode. And then for the sequel, Annie 2, we'll see. That is actually very nice. That is also an option indeed. That would actually get rid of the exploit. Like if the player is within a certain reach, She blasts downwards, yeah. That would definitely avoid... and if the player gets hit, he immediately jibs. Enters a jib state. That's going to require a lot of work, but you know, yeah, it's actually very interesting. Make her a formidable enemy without the need for like taking everything into account level design wise. That's definitely interesting. Now I suppose I could work, instead of the random beacons, I suppose I could work with certain spawn spots. So it's a little more controlled where she spawns. Like if you have... I would have to design a few test arenas, because this is all on the floor level, the same level, but what I kind of want is actually have an arena where you have elevations as well, like certain rocks, and then she can teleport on the rocks, so you have like height differences. But that's something I have to test first, like in a small testing arena, to see if it works with the beacon, the spawn beacon, like I have it now. If not, I probably would have to use some teleport locations or map spots to make her choose like a random map spot and then teleport to that location. So we'll have to wait and see what the testing result is. But that is definitely interesting. Blast downward, yeah. I think it's, you know, like the dropping down from the floor and the earthquake, that's pretty simple, straightforward. But the only thing would be a challenge is to calculate the player distance from the spider mastermind. Like it has to have the full, you know, from ceiling to bottom. So that's something I will have to figure out how that works exactly. But I'm pretty sure it's doable. Like I've seen tons of stuff monsters do, which are actually, which I thought would be impossible, you know? We're gonna start off strong here. Sector height calculation, yeah, might. You know, the script actually does calculate, I think, or maybe like another one. I remember a script that calculated the sector height because, I don't know, because if the monster would probably fit in that room to spawn. Maybe this one does it as well, I'm not really sure. Let's start strong. With, I was gonna say, maybe with 2 Barons of Hell. Or maybe Ragnarson. I haven't used an arch file yet in this entire mod, or in this entire level. Not really sure if it's necessary. I could actually throw it in the mix in this one. But if you have 3 arch files coming down a conveyor belt, that is a huge problem. Although there is plenty of cover, actually. Maybe I should do that. Just run a few tests to see. Okay. So let's run a gameplay test. See how we managed up until this point. Okay. You have to save often. That is a very fun trap here. Still have to activate the poison mechanic here. Be very careful. But I kind of like this. Okay. That's weird. I thought there was a chain gunner. Did I destroy the chain gun as well? Did the crusher destroy the chain gun? Is that possible? I think he did. It did? Oh. Okay, let's did I take damage there? Oh yeah. I think not the first time maybe? Okay. So the crusher destroyed the chain gun. Which is interesting. Didn't expect that, to be honest, but I'll go with it. A lot of stuff going on here. This is a very tough section. I always prioritize that one. Yeah, I think so. But I think because the sector, like the teleporter, usually in the original in the vanilla game, it doesn't move as fast. This is kind of like a turbo crusher, which is not present in like the original Doom. So this is probably like a glitch, or maybe because it's carried by a monster. That doesn't work. Okay, we got ourselves an ally here. So let's keep him occupied. That's good. Here's our great key. I still love that. So this, it crushes the monsters. There we go. The only thing is, it gets teleported along with it, because it's still in this sector. But, you know, it doesn't really matter that much. Okay, that still works. Let's see. Oh, yeah, this is the way to go. Be careful here. Oh shit, he got me good. Well, it's my own fault, so we're gonna save at 10. See if I can recover from this. I couldn't save him in time. I think it might benefit from a few more spawns. Actually, can you get a glimpse? Yeah, you can get a glimpse. Okay. There we go. This is gonna be a tough one. Let's get rid of as many as we can. Oh. What hit me actually? Let's see. An Arachnotron. Okay. Probably. I think I could benefit from a little bit of a health refill here. Yeah, I don't have too much to spare. There's, I think there's nothing. I took a good hit here. Let's see. Let's suppose I don't find any secrets. I think maybe like add a little of health here as well. The fun part is you can actually see. Why aren't they moving? Okay. Oh. It's weird. Are they in a dormant state? That would explain why they're not moving. Dangerous. can drain your ammo so fast. Okay, this is gonna be like obviously a huge fight, so I do want the player to be, you know, to stack up. Two medkits. I think that's no excess luxury. Like, I think this is actually a nice spot to have something here as well. I think we need the player to get the player out in the open, and what I think could help to give the player just a little bit of advantage. I think we can actually put a invisibility sphere right on top. Probably for this one, just use an imp. Can actually replace this. Hold on. That. Go. Maybe like a few pockets here underneath. Decoration. Bloody miss. And we want box of rockets. Why the hell not? Box of ammo. And a box of shells. Or maybe like spread it out. Shotgun shells. Ammo clip. Like that. And then we're gonna put in a few more. Look here. Box of ammo. A rocket. And shells. No. Try shells. Decoration dead player. There we go. And then maybe here. Dead player, and then we're gonna put in a box of shells, a rocket, and an ammo clip. Okay. Yep. There. And then, you know, maybe like a few to kind of replenish your health at least a little bit. Cell charge. Kind of maybe put in the green armor here as well. It's kind of like an exploring bonus. You're gonna need the firepower. Okay, let's check out if we can actually survive this. Took a good hit already. Okay, now it dropped. Oh, the shin gun is gone again. It's actually interesting, and which actually creates like a fun mechanic where you have to be careful not to destroy the shin gunner. Actually already out of ammo. Oh wait, there is a little bit. Let's grab that one. 120. Ah wait, it's because of the skill level, I think. Did I actually change that? Like the ammo count? I mean the armor count based on the skill level? Not too sure if I scripted that in actually. Oh shit. What is happening? Okay. Well, I can make use of the rat suit here. I created a tough situation for myself. Man, these monsters move fast. They're aggressive. Probably not safe to go head on with a lost soul when you carry a rocket launcher, but I kind of wanted to get rid of them as fast as I could. Shit, they're already here. Thankfully, there are plenty of spaces to escape. Grab the key and just get the hell out of here. Oh god, let's see. Okay, it's crushed. Well, if it was still alive, it would have traveled up with me. So this was going to be a very interesting fight. But he got crushed under the firm. There's a warning sign. Shouldn't have ignored it. So I think maybe like by the time you reach that area, maybe a backpack could have come in handy. Unless, of course, this is not the first level you play. You already would have a back, but I have to assume it's from player start. Pistol start, I mean. Careful this time around. Not a lot of room to dodge. Okay, so I did slightly better this run. Okay, now we start with 100 health, which is exponentially better. Maximum damage if you choose to hit the barrels in the middle. I should have taken this first. Now, the thing is, projectile-based enemies are actually very hard to predict, because they shoot their projectiles at random if you're invisible. So that definitely doesn't make it easier. Careful now. Bridge is coming down. Oh shit. No, you got plenty of room to maneuver, so that's all good. Oh, I know, it's so much fun. So much fun. Like, I actually wanted to create like a dedicated level. Oh, they're all still ambushed. I mean, dormant. Okay. Well, let's use that as a good way to... well, there's some still... Only one is active. Just have to get them out of the dormant state. I don't know why that happened. But let's use this as an advantage now. There's one who got inside. Okay, let's get some infighting going on here. We can just enjoy the show. This one is not happy. There we go. Now we get the red key. Can escape this area. And you can actually make the jump to grab that chain gun, so that's good. For those who want to 100% complete items. Not on my watch. Okay. And now we can have some fun. And you have plenty. Oh god. How? That is weird. Let's do that again. Yeah. Now I can always increase your knees failed. Too much running. That is weird, right? What happened here? So to avoid that, let's put it one higher. Like that. No, wait a minute, that is not actually... Was this the problem? I did grab the... That looks high enough to me. Let's try that again. Oh. Have to activate the first one. So, oh god. That is not good. Wait, I know, yeah. Because it's already traveled up here. Okay. So that is an issue here. Which... Wonder what a... Could it have something to do with like a... Started in the wrong area maybe? or if it's blocked. Should I link these sectors? Not really sure. Well, I'm gonna require some more testing to see. But anyway, I think I increased it by a little bit, so normally it shouldn't happen anymore, getting crushed. Let's focus on this one here. Let's add a monster. Rocket guy. Ambush, okay. So these monsters, yeah, I thought so. They all have the ambush flag for some reason. Wait, no, that's actually, that is required. Ambush and dormant has to switch off. There we go. I think these were the only ones who suffered from that. Now the only thing here, this one, what could happen if a monster is inside this area, door might block, but I think, you know, like, just gonna leave that for an exploit. It could be an easy escape. Let's actually test it. Let's put this one on dormant. I mean, if this is the case and there's a monster, like, as long as it doesn't break the level, it does break the level. Okay, let's see how we can actually solve this problem. Secret, no. Where is it? Where is it? Drain flesh pit. Probably gonna use a door close. Oh, wait a minute. Ceiling lower by value. Ah, wait, this is for... Ah, yeah, this is for... I have it wrong. This is for the flesh itself. I need this one. 34 is the door. Door open, and then... If you grab the key, is there like... Script execute resurrection? Okay. Resurrection part 2, door close. Ooh. I think it's probably because it's dormant that it stops. Now I have to remove the tag weight because you know, if it waits for the door to close completely and it doesn't, then you're pretty much screwed. So we're gonna use 2 seconds instead of 3, so the player doesn't really have a chance to run quickly. So what we're gonna need to do is actually keep this one, but we're gonna put him in the non-dormant state and make it act as a regular monster. It's just a no target one. Okay, that's better. Okay, now it is a regular monster. Damn it. Yeah, I have no idea. Normally I was expecting the door to just open as soon as it hits a monster. Pretty nasty. Oh, let's see. Maybe they can help out with the Arachnotron. Ooh, they're not helping out, but they help out at least each other. on, fire your rocket. Yes, thank you. Later. Okay, I think I'll go with this. Not too many monsters right underneath. Okay. Now the rocket jumping issue. I think the best bet is to just disable it by creating a new player class. Wait a minute. We're gonna actually add some subtle messaging. What I kind of wanted to do for the sequel is to actually, instead of having these messages on screen, I kind of wanted to create like this AI voice that, you know, you have like through these speakers inside the bases, where they kind of tell you what is happening. Maybe I can do that in this episode as well, not really sure. Let's see. Drain crusher, no. Where do we want it? Drain flesh pit. Draining what? What is that actually? Draining chamber draining. What would you call a chamber that kind of resurrects monsters? What would you call it? Draining? Training. Recomposition. Recomposition, what is that? Let's see. Let's. Drainage completed. Okay. It doesn't actually. Yeah. Maybe it's not even necessary to put this one. Drainage completed. This actually has to move up. Right here. There. Let's keep it for now. Kind of like maybe like these small cues. Like it would be interesting to actually have this actually voiced by like a generic AI voice, as you can, well, maybe like in Doom 2K16, I think. Or what games use something like that? Maybe Dead Space, where you get this computer, like, you know, computer voice throughout the base that kind of gives you some information. If I remember correctly, I'm not really sure. But that's something for the sequel, maybe. Like System Shock, yeah. But that is System Shock is, well, it's basically something like that. Yeah, something like that. Like I want to kind of like System Shock, you know, because like Shodan, she's kind of not really neutral towards the player, but something like some neutral. Just like a computer system that just relays information. But something like that. It would even be cool. Like I probably would have to use like an AI voice generator to kind of type in the lines which I want to convey. Oh, Xerxes is, yeah, true. So I kind of want something similar. I think you can actually use samples of an existing voice, feed it into an AI program, and then you can just type in whatever sentence you like, and it kind of mimics that voice. Something like that, maybe I have to look into to get a couple of dialogue voice lines. $11 Is that? Do you have to pay for that? It's probably. That's all, you know. The thing is, if it wasn't like, most of these things are subscription based, I kind of hate that system, that whole system. I just would like to just pay once, you know, but yeah, you have voice cloning indeed. Well, it would be something maybe like if I for example had like maybe do like a Kickstarter for things like that, for like you know, if I could get some funding maybe for like a texture artist, a musician, and something to do these kind of like voices, I think we would have enough to actually create, like, taking it to the next level. To have really like, to create like a more unique any experience, because now it uses like textures from existing games. But it would be interesting to have like a completely brand new custom texture pack for the sequel. But that's something to consider, maybe, like doing a Kickstarter, just to make like I mean I'm not like in it to earn money off this project. I just kind of wanted to, you know, add some stuff. But it's kind of hard to find, you know, people doing it for free, which I, you know, Sulaco, yeah, but not on that scale, of course. But I kind of wanted to elevate it like a mod plus, you know, and just don't rely on existing texture packs, because I feel like, you know, you can't really avoid, like, if 1,000 people use the same texture pack, it'll, you know, somewhat, it all looks familiar in the end. But if you have like a completely new texture pack, I think it's always more interesting to explore the levels, like, and that would be, I think it would be enough. There's no need for to add like a whole new roster of monsters. But it's gonna be different. Like, I'm gonna play a lot with lighting in the sequel, because I'm gonna try to use GZdoom, which I feel like has huge potential to create like this, because like the sequel of Annie is gonna take place, you know, in outer space. So I feel like you could do a lot. There's a lot of potential when it comes to lighting in GZdoom. I feel like you could really benefit from that. It's going to be like a totally different experience, so I kind of want to have like a new texture pack as well, and maybe do like some, you know, the whole specular, you know, these textures like they have. Well, I can't really recall like what the names are, but you get specular mapping, bump mapping, you know, stuff like that. It will add a huge amount of detail and keep the level itself fairly simple. And with the proper lighting, you know, you could achieve amazing results. You see it in Core Decay. That level design is actually very simple. It's just basically tiles, you know, but still you can create these really beautiful environments, and the lighting really carries it through. So that is something like I try to avoid too much sector detail. That would be nice. If I'm probably gonna do like for the sequel a Kickstarter, so I can, you know, at least compensate you somewhat for the effort. We'll see how far we can get. And you know, my end goal would be to create like completely standalone game, which of course has to be like, I can't use any of the Doom monsters, but we can create something similar, kind of like what the Age of Hell is doing from Bridge Burner. and then have like an actual game using the GZdoom engine or the Wikidom engine, like, you know, the likes of Sulaco. That would be the ultimate dream. And then indeed, like, get a small team. If we can get a good Kickstarter running, get a small team together and just, you know, make it happen. I mean, like, we don't have to design our own engine, but, you know, that would be fun. And it would be nice if you know, if you can actually get some funding and but that's something for the future. I think the best bet is to get people. Bridge builder. Did I say it again? Did I say bridge burner or bridge builder? Because I know I used it in the past. Bridge builder. Oh god, yeah. But, you know, it would be fun to launch something like that, and I think could be realistic. But I think the best way to achieve is, I said burner. Okay, cool. It happened way too often. I said builder. It would actually would make more sense considering he is actually, you know, building worlds. But I think the most interesting ways to get people interested is to actually, like, do my best to make this mod as good as possible, to see, you know, what the potential is when it comes to level design and stuff like that. And then think if you could, like, announce like a big sequel. I think. Okay. Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. I kind of want to, like. The thing is, what I actually was considering. I haven't used it enough in this mod, but actually making use of patches in GZdoom. That's super. You can actually compose textures instead of having, like, because it takes up quite a lot of space. But if you use patches, you can just write like texture patches, and then you can just compose your own texture just by writing a few lines. I think you know what the idea is actually. I do have a few. Hold on. Patches like this, for example. These are the patches. No, they're not decals. They're actually the original Doom WAD has decals, and you use it to compose. Like, you can create a panel of like, these are all 64 times 64, but you can script. Let's see. Do I have? Just a second. Like this. No, this is not. Well, you can basically do it like this. So you just put these. This is for the animated textures. But suppose this is a patch. You could just put them together and define the position here, and then you can create like a 128 or 256 textures composed of different patches. So, for example, if you have like if you have a texture, if you have a texture like this, but you want like lighting, like if you want two different textures, let's say 64 times 64, and you want to have one like 64 of 128. So you just compose these two textures, if you want, two patches underneath each other, and that's one texture. But if you also want a variant where you put on a light at the bottom, you can actually include this texture or this patch on top of the your new texture as well. So it's just like three lines. Patch 1, patch 2. Patch 1 is actually patch 2 is patch 1, but on a different height. So you start at 64, and this starts at 0. You know, it makes my explanation sucks, but you know, I think you get the point. And then you add this patch and you define a position on top of the texture you already defined, and then you have like 2 different textures while eliminating the need. You just have 1 patch, like 2. Okay, 2. You need these and these. Yeah, something like that. Oh, so you only need these to create, well, multiple textures if you want. You can place 2 lights, 3 lights, 1 at the top, 1 at the bottom, in the middle. It doesn't really matter. You can do lots of things with it, and that would, I think that would be a very interesting way to really create a lot of texture variants without having to use a lot of PNG files. Like here, you could do it in Paint. You could, like, if you want a 128 texture with some lights, you can always create a new texture, but with patches it's not necessary. So that's very, very fun, and actually something I haven't used enough. And the fun part is about creating new textures is you can actually have very good control. Like this is already, everything is here. But if you design it from scratch, I think I like the involvement, the personal involvement in this texture. You can actually really think about like how are we going to use it, and then you can design the texture based on that. And I think they would fit in way better. For example, like if you have like in your level, you have a floor. Let me show you real quick. For example, right here, right? This one. So what it could do, if I want to have lights at the bottom, this is not going to be easy without creating like a new sector, like alongside these lines, and then just adding it, like increasing the height like 16 units, and then adding a texture. But you can also, if you work with patches, you can use this existing one and then just use this height and just put a light at the bottom, and then this would be your texture. But if you like, as you can see, this is lower, but it doesn't really matter. You can just flip it up, and you know, this would be a lot easier because this is too high. So what would you, if this was 128, the light at the bottom would come back at the top here. But if you use this as a standard measurement for the texture height, then this one would be a problem because these are all lower, and you can just, you know, put textures up. That is one of the most interesting use of patches, I think. It's to avoid repetition of texturing by just defining, like through scripting using existing patches, you can just create a new texture. That's pretty cool. Love it. It's a huge space saver as well, and you can go. You can do endless stuff with that. Specifically tailored to your needs without having to use the scale function. It would eliminate that as well, compression. Like if this was to be made of patches, you can actually have this logo. Like if you cut it out, you could create a patch out of that as well, or maybe a decal could be as well. And you can, I would probably put these warning signs, create a different patch, this bottom part, and this one would be generic. Like, you know, I mean, if you cut out the logo, this could be generic, so you could create, you make the create as high as you want, and then patch it again and do this top part. So you can have crates in all different sizes without the need for to rescale them. And that is, I think, the most interesting use of patches. So that's probably something I'm gonna focus on in the sequel heavily. Mostly, I think I'm not gonna use any textures. Just patches. The only thing I wonder, I'm not really sure if that works, is if you have specular maps and bump maps and stuff like that, does that still work with patches? Not really sure about that. And light map, bright maps, I mean, not really sure how that would integrate, but we can always try. Check it out. All right, I'm gonna end the stream here. Thank you so much for joining, Festus. And I'll see you next week. I think we made some good progress. Just, I think this area needs to be populated. We could do it in a run next week, and then I think the level is, you know, with some additional testing, maybe a little bit of bug fixing. But I'm probably gonna do like release an early access version in my own Discord server. So if you want to check it out, you already can by then, and then hopefully I can iron out some more bugs before doing a public release. But we'll see. So take care, have a great day, and I'll see you next